But imagine you've said you can speak Spanish, and on your interview day, they ask you to speak Spanish and you cannot speak Spanish. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to write a professional CV, because we all know how important a CV is. It is a CV that goes before you even to places you cannot go. Sometimes as an employer, you judge your employee by their CV because initially you're not seeing them, you don't know them. The only thing that you've got to prove yourself is with your CV. So it is actually very, very important for you to be able to understand how to construct a very good standard professional CV. Although I've made a video where I mentioned how you can easily get your CV within 2 minutes, I just thought it is better for me to come to explain to you how to be very confident in constructing your own CV for any occasion, for any job, for any country. Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about what a CV is, how long should your CV be, what to include in your CV format you're going to be needing, and what does a good CV entails. Okay, so what is a CV? A CV is actually a short form for curriculum vitae. It is a document used when applying for a job. It is a document that helps you to tell your employer about your experience, your educational qualification, your skills, to give your reference and all. Okay, so that is what a CV is. How long should a CV be? Ideally, your CV should not be longer than 2 A4 papers. If you're going to be using back and front, just the back and the front. If you're going to be using 2 sheets, just 2 pages of A4 paper. Okay, that should be at least maximum, because as an employer, you don't want to be bombarded with having to read textbooks about somebody. It may put off your employer if your CV is too long. So you want to make sure you put the most important things first, and you want to make sure that once your employer sees your potential employer, you want to make sure that once your potential employer sees your CV, they are attracted to you to want to go ahead to read your CV. What should you include in your CV? The most important thing, you want to include your contact detail, your name, full name, your address if needed, or your location, your contact number, your email address. Your contact number, please remember to put the country code. Like if you're in Nigeria, 234 444 9+9 something, whatever your code is, because especially if you're applying internationally, you want to put that code so the person trying to employ you will be able to get in touch with you. You don't need to put your age, you don't need to put your date of birth, except it has to do with maybe modeling or things that has to do with age requirements. You don't need to put your age. So that is what you want to include in your contact. You want to have your profile in your CV. You don't want it to be too long, in form of a personal statement or a cover letter, like what you're good at, why you want the job, just something very brief, just to entice your employer. You may not include this, but if you want to, it is also good. And it shouldn't be that long. Your CV should please be grammatically correct. If you're not sure, make sure you clarify with someone. Make sure you ask someone to proofread. Use like Grammarly, use things that can help you to be grammatically correct when you're writing your CV, because you don't want to have a CV with a lot of typographical error, a lot of spelling error. Your English is not so good, especially if you're applying to countries where it's majorly English speaking country. You know what I mean? Okay, so you want to include your educational background, your schools. Make sure you put the most recent and most applicable one at the first. For instance, if you're applying to be a perioperative nurse, you want to put the specialty or your job, you want to put that one first. Put it according to how important. You don't want to put your primary school first. Your primary school, or the one that has been old, is going to come last, and then your most recent qualification will come first, and you go down like that. So you want to have all your educational qualifications, and make sure you include any trainings you've had. If you've had any, maybe 6 months, even volunteer trainings, put it in your educational qualification. You want to put in your school as well. Like I've said, as the most recent will be the first. Your educational qualification, the year you qualified, and what certification you had, or if it was a secondary school, if it was WAEC, whatever the qualification you had in the school, you want to put it under and just put the years. And if you're still in school, or if you're still in the job, just put ongoing, so time when you started, and then put the ongoing. Your skill and achievement. What have you achieved? If you're a nurse, if you're a medical personnel, have you done your BLS? Have you done any specification, infection control? If you've done any experience, any skill you have at all, don't bombard the CV with "I'm very hardworking, I'm very this." You're hardworking, okay, I'm very hardworking, I've worked in so place for 6 months, or I work so place, for so time. I'm very proactive. If you had any award, whatever it is, your skill, you want to include it there. Please package yourself very well. Your interest. Sometimes, usually I don't add my interest in my CV, but if you want to, you can actually include your interest, maybe reading, but it should be good interest, not like interest of not selfish interest like clubbing. It should be professional, like your interest, like maybe reading, learning new things, traveling, educating yourself, stuff like that, things that can sell you and don't lie as well. Okay, then at the reference part, sometimes some people will argue that you should include your reference. Some will argue that you shouldn't. Personally, I don't include my reference. Before, yes, but now I just write reference available when required. And most job we even just ask you to give them your reference contact, and they will send whatever form they want to send to them for them to complete and to attest for you. So if you want to include your reference, you can. If you don't want to, just write reference will be provided when required or if required. You don't need to include anyone. It is not compulsory. Talking about CV generally, I'm going to be giving you a few tips. Avoid titling the document curriculum vitae A, because I remember back in Nigeria, my first CVs, you see the beginning, the heading, the first page, the first line will be curriculum vitae. Just avoid that. We all know that it's a CV. Just leave that out. Don't put it. That heading you want to use for something nice. You want to maybe put your name, your email address, your phone number. Okay, you don't want to put curriculum vitae. Just avoid that. It is not. That's old school. Actually wasting your space. Instead, just put. You see, you can put your name, GLORIA OTIKOR, your email address, your contacts in the center there, okay, before you now go down to education, skills, all those other things I've mentioned. So avoid using CV or curriculum vitae A as, I don't know, is it vitae A or vitae? Some people call it vitae, some people call it vitae A, vitae, whatever you call it, okay. Use very clear font. Don't use fonts that will not be visible, will not be nice to read. Tahoma, Arial Black. Use nice font, and at least 12, 13, 14. It shouldn't be too tiny, and it shouldn't be like full of design. It should be clear and readable. Okay, use nice font when you're writing your CV. Use clear spacing, use bulleting if you have to, just for it to be nicely stated, for it to be easy to read as well. Name the document when saving them. Don't just name it randomly, because most of the time what you don't know is that document is going to appear when you send the email. Most of the time it's going to appear with a heading, so you can put like your name. For instance, if I'm saving my CV, I will just say GLORIA OTIKOR CV or GLORIA OTIKOR updated CV. It looks more professional than you just maybe document 1, document 2, which can even be lost. But if your name is there when they are trying to select people who they're going to interview, it will be easier for them to select. Those are just little things. They may not be of much importance, but those are little things for you to consider. Save your document in PDF if possible. If you save it in every other way, they may not be able to open it when they try to open it. But if you save your document with PDF, there's tendency that most system, phones, laptop will be able to easily open that document. And make sure you use black and white if possible. You don't need all the different colors. You can sometimes maybe a little bit at the top, but mainly just print it black and white, clear A4 size paper. Avoid generic overusage of words like I'm a very hardworking person, I enjoy it. Just those words that are very common that every employer will see in all CV. You don't want to keep repeating those overused words. I'm a team player, I'm hardworking. Those words are overused. You can use it, but don't overuse it. Tailor your CV specifically to the job you're applying for. Sometimes you may want to apply for different job roles. Remember to edit your CV. Just put it in a way that you can easily edit it. Maybe you've already used that CV to apply as a tailor somewhere, you want to now apply as a mechanic somewhere. You should remember to tailor your CV to that specification and use the experience that is relating to that particular job you're applying for. If you have the website or the advertisement for that job, please go and read that job, read the job description, and those will give you even hints on how to include some of those things. Like they may want some experience, they may want some of those things that you already have. If you see the job description, if it's possible, include those points in your CV, and it will help you, because this is already what they want. For instance, if they want someone that has already got IELTS and you already have IELTS, you want to include it with IELTS or English certificate, you want to just include that key point that they want to captivate them and to, attract them to be able to want to interview you. When you're going to be sending your email, use professional emails. I know you may have different kind of email like sexybarbie@yahoo.com or something, but try to have professional emails. Even if you cannot use your name, use something that is decent, something that sounds responsible. And even any of your social media you're going to be adding, like you're going to be including your email as well. You don't want to, look for a job and then you have a BlackBerry baby at Hotmail. No, please make sure your email, your Gmail, your social media platform you're going to be including in that CV is a little bit, a touch of professionalism, okay? Please, I know sometimes we are tempted to lie, to exaggerate, to say what we are not. Imagine you've said you can speak Spanish and on your interview day, they ask you to speak Spanish and you cannot speak Spanish. So don't lie, don't exaggerate, don't overdo it, don't overanalyze. Just be yourself, be free. Your employer does not expect you to be perfect because they themselves are not perfect. So just be yourself. And remember, you have to defend your CV during the interview. So you don't want to lie. You want to make sure you really know what you're doing and you want to remember everything you've written in your CV. Not cramming, but if you've said you've gone to this school, you should be able to say you've been to this school and be able to prove that you've been to that school. You shouldn't lie because you're going to be caught. You may be caught. I know this is not said enough. If you have any disability that you think you want to disclose, if you want to, it is okay to disclose it in your CV. If you don't want to, at some point during your interview process, try to disclose. And if, except proven otherwise, have a cover letter for your CV, except the job has said not to. But if you have a cover letter, it helps you, to be able to summarize the most important part of yourself in the cover letter. I hope this video has answered your question that you've been asking about how to write a professional CV. And if you think this is a long process for you, you think I've spoken a lot of English that you don't understand, you're not interested in all my process, I've said that there is a very, very easy way to getting your CV. Just go to Google, type UK standard CV, US standard CV, Australia standard CV, Nigeria standard CV, any CV you want, type it and you go to image, press image, you see loads and loads of pictures of CVs that you can just use the pattern. Don't copy, but just follow the step, follow the guidance, and it should direct you enough for you to be able to know in case of emergency if you don't want to go through all this long process that I've explained to you. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, or even if it has not, please press the subscribe button and click on the notification bell. Good luck in your job interview. Good luck as you apply for that job. I wish you success. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in another video. Until then, stay safe and keep pushing.